So today, I'm talking to you about who are you listening to? Now, on the face of it, you might think it's quite simple, but beneath the surface, you are being inundated with other suggestions which may not be, and most of the time are not congruent with your heart, your head, and your potential. You see, many people throughout life are being hypnotized to actually have issues, to keep issues, and not know how to let go of issues. And it's not their fault. I'm not placing any blame on anyone, because it all comes down to me and it all comes down to you. But we must wake up to the nature of who we're listening to. Now, I'm absolutely not saying you should listen to me. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but I'm not going to say for you to listen to me. It's okay if you do not. If you do not agree with what I say, be absolutely awesome with that. If other people are telling you to do X, Y, Z, be okay to say, that's not right, I'm not going to go with it. We have been, and I don't want it to get really kind of, but we've been playing way too small as a group on Periscope and Facebook. We have been way too long in stepping up to your potential. And I know this because I get emailed every day, multiple times a day, and I do read 90% of the emails. I might not reply to them all because there are many, 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 and thankfully for me, Sarah helps me out to reply because she is ultimately taking my brain and putting it into herself, knows how I'm going to reply, how I would reply. I have taught her that way, and she does what I do for a living. Awesome practitioner herself, but thankfully she is helping me and support you guys, so she deserves so much credit. But ultimately, I know this is true, that we are paying way too much attention to what people think. We are paying way too much attention to things which are not our issue, and more importantly, none of our business. We see it in the media all the time. Who to vote for in America? Trust me, I cannot go anywhere without seeing something about politics. I cannot go anywhere without being inundated as to how I should be voting for someone, which I obviously cannot, but obviously they're speaking to the masses, and I'm just here as an Englishman in America, but I'm being inundated by that. I'm hearing people's opinions. I get my dad's opinion in one ear, I get my mother's, I get my brother's, I get my friends, I get people on Facebook, I get all the emails, I get on Twitter. I'm getting opinions from everyone, and that's okay. There's not an issue unless we allow it to become an issue. And how do we know when it becomes an issue? Because we are going against our heart. That is what it's about. We're going against our heart, and that is the issue. I'm in a really good place, and I have been for many years now, as to other people's opinions. And at first, when I was younger, and especially even my early 20s, having even been doing what I've been doing for many years, or not many years, but about since 18 to 24, I'd say, which is 6 years or so. Even though I was in the game of helping people, I was paying way too much attention to my friends, their belief systems, my dad. And like I said, I love those guys. I love everyone who has an opinion, but it does not have to be a reality. Yes, I said it. Other people's opinion does not have to be a reality. So, going back to the question, who are you listening to? Are you listening to people who, first of all, which is a fact, by the way, have no idea what it's like to be you? Are you listening to people who have zero idea as to how you live? Because everyone is unique. Everyone's seeing through their own eyes, through their own belief systems, their own experience. We've come from different places, different experiences. We have different ideologies. We have all these different things. Are we paying attention to the person or people or society who have no idea what you are about. Now, I could get to know someone and I can begin to get an understanding as to what they want. With the people closest to me, to the people who I work with on a one-to-one level, or in mind mastery, my group coaching, which is epic. Small plug, epic. And even Sebastian. Sebastian's here. Do you remember I used to walk around with Sebastian? He's here, chilling out. But what was I saying? It's okay, Bassie. Relax. I always do my hypnotic voice. Sebastian, I want you to realize as you close your eyes to relax. No, I'm kidding. I do that though. But ultimately, I used to pay attention to many people, and now I like to pay attention to the people who want help. That is a difference, right? If I'm being asked for help, I will put my attention on that person and help them as much as I can, because that is what I'm here to do. I'm here to support people. But I'm not going to pay attention to everyone, or I may pay attention, but I'm not going to have to take it on as a reality. It's none of our business. It does not have to be that way. We have to wake up and become conscious. You have been hypnotized to believe that other people's opinions are absolute reality. But guess what, guys? Other people's opinions come from people who have told them how to be, or they've been running that because of their own experience. Now, you have not been, or they've not been through your experience. They do not know what your heart says. If you say to me or to someone else, and you say, I want to start helping people for a living like I do, no one should say that you shouldn't do that. If you have a dream, go for it. Do not care about what other people say. Totally appreciate. Because they're coming from the best of intentions, I'm sure, through their own mindset. They're only judging your life by their own life. And that is a critical thing. Who are you listening to? Are you listening to the person down the road? Are you listening to your boss? Are you listening to your family? Are you listening to the government? Are you listening to the adverts? Are you listening to advertising? Who are you listening to? And consider what their agenda may be. Now, many people's agendas are absolutely great. But so, for example, my dad said once to me, he was a little bit unsure giving away so much for free because he had my well-being, my financial well-being in his heart. And I love him for that, because that is awesome. I didn't agree with him in the sense that I wanted to do what I wanted to do because that's what my heart told me to. But I love him for that because he had good intentions. He didn't know what I wanted as such. He didn't know how it was going to happen. But I love him for that because he had good intentions. I didn't pay attention to it, but I still love him for it. So we can appreciate other people's viewpoints. But there are other people with other agendas who are usually living out their own issues through you. We probably know this to be true in your life right now. Do you know anyone in your life who says, oh, you can't do that? What if this happens? What if that happens? But you don't have a degree. You don't have the experience. You don't have the money. You don't have fill in the blank. We know many people like that. But that is their belief system. If someone told me back then let me get that clear. If I told myself from the future as to what I'd be doing right now, based on the decisions I made, my mind would be blown. I would not have any understanding of my work has been listened to 250,000 times every month. I would have no idea that would be the case. People told me not to do that, but I was going to do it anyway. I followed my heart, and that is the key. You have to allow your heart, your head, to be bigger and bolder over other people's opinions. So who are you listening to? Now, I'm not saying for you to listen to me either. I'm not going to say that because it would be rude to do so. Unless you pay me money, then the chances are you want me to tell you what to do to be totally free of your issue. But other than that, take what I say as advice, and you can choose to do what you will with that. It's completely down to you, and it's the same thing for everyone. So who are you listening to? Are you listening to the person when you're saying, I want to be able to be earning $10,000 a month? Are you listening to the person who is poor? Are you listening to the person who is poor? In fact, I was recalling a conversation once, and I cannot even remember who it was, but they said, but if you earn X amount of money, you're going to get taxed more. In that moment, my head almost exploded. I was like, that's okay, because it means I'm doing well. But in that poor money mindset, that person was not willing to stand up, to step up and make more money because they might get more taxed. It makes no logical sense. It makes sense to a certain degree because our brains work that way. But the more money you earn, it's okay to pay more tax because you're getting more money. So we have to really realize, are we paying attention to the person about who you should go for as for a partner when they have a bad track record in relationships? Are you listening to people who are telling you how to be more confident when they're not even confident themselves? They might be saying it on the outside, but on the inside, you know they're not that confident. It's more of an act, you could say. Are we paying attention to the people who have no idea about life, your life specifically, and have no idea? For example, I would never go to a hypnotist for weight loss when they're overweight. Same thing for a personal trainer. I would never go to a personal trainer who is overweight because I want to be able to model the person I want to hire. I'm going to seek out the advice from people who know how to get what I want. If it's someone who's great with money, I'm going to ask them, how do you get great with money? Let me hire you for your time, or can I get you some free time from you? If I want to lose weight, I'm going to go to the personal trainer who is eating well, who is exercising, and is living their life that way. You have to choose. And here's the thing, you do choose who you surround yourself with. Are you choosing to surround yourself with those people who have no clue to get to where you want to be? Are you paying attention to those who are? It is really not that hard. It is very, very simple. I'm not saying it's easy to turn off from those people because it can take a bit of challenge by yourself. Usually got to let more people in to your life to be able to make that happen. But or just be very firm on your boundaries. But it is possible if you surround yourself with the people who know how to get you to where you want to be, then you'll start to thrive. If you want to, here's the thing. If you want to let go of low self-esteem, to let go of the belief of not being good enough, if you want to let go of anxiety, if you want to let go of a lack of confidence, if you want to let go of all those things and get rock solid confidence and be totally happy to get to where you want to be, seek out someone who does that. Now, in that case, that would be me, and you're listening to this, which fulfills part of that agenda, which is great. But still, if you want to work with me to run a marathon, I've actually run the distance. I've never done it more than once, and I would never think it'd be a good idea for you to ask me how to run a marathon, because I have no idea. I've run a long distance, but I have no idea about the specifics, the diet, the exercise, the stretching. It's just not my mindset. It is one of those things, and I'm okay with that, because that's not what I do. It's not who I am. But are you paying attention to someone who has no idea? Are they operating from a belief of scarcity? Are they operating from a belief of lack? Are they operating from a belief of just their past experience? Are they operating from a belief of that they can't see how other people can change because they can't change? If that's true, we should not listen to them. Are you paying attention to the right people? That is the message today. That is the wake-up call today. Because I promise you, the chances are you've been out, you've been talking with your friends, and they've said something about money or they've said something about relationships, and on the inside, unconsciously, you've agreed with them despite it not being actually true. Because that is an unconscious thing. There's far more unconscious absorption. They say around 2 to 6 million. And I say 2 to 6 because every study you read is completely different. But usually it's around 2 to 6 million bits of information all the time going into your head. So you're taking on so many people's other belief systems. Now, how do you stop that? You wake up. You think, who am I going to listen to? If people are giving me advice, love them for it, appreciate for them for that advice, but you do not have to agree. If I agreed to what everyone has told me, I would not be doing what I'm doing. I'll tell you why. I started at 18 years old. Many people said you cannot work with paying clients because you're only 18. People said I could not run a business because I dropped out of college. People said that I should not be giving out my work for free because it makes no financial sense. People said that I've got to be a certain way, I've got to look a certain way, that I should correct my language, I should do this and do that. If I did all those things, I would not be where I am today. And I'm a firm believer that you must follow your heart. That's all you have to do. If it's one of those things where you write down what your heart says, write it down. If you want to make a vision board out of it, write it down. That means every time you see that person in your mind, you've looked at that vision board that day and you realize that what they're saying is not true. Many people in the world who refuse to buy into what should be true based on other people's opinions, who denied that and said, actually, I'm going to go by what I think, they became millionaires, billionaires, scientific breakthroughs, social breakthroughs when it comes to obviously social society, all those things. If you pay attention to people who have no idea, and I mean that, most of the time people have no idea how to advise you. They're just advising you based on their experience. And that is okay. That is okay. We're not saying it's an issue. The issue is if you agree to what they say. That is the problem. That is the issue. That is a thing which keeps you stuck. That is a thing which will self-sabotage you. That is a thing, that is probably the reason why you're not achieving your outcome, because you are believing 99% of the people around today for it to be true. The people in your life, you are the sum of the people you surround yourself with. And you have to think, am I going to surround myself with the people who have no idea about money or confidence or whatever, eating, all those things? You got to make that decision. That's one of the things you have to do. I remember one of my clients who was not incredibly young or old, but they were in like their 20s and they were living at home still and they wanted to lose weight, and ultimately their parents were rubbish eaters. I mean, you could see why this person was overweight, because they've been listening and running the same eating behaviors. And for a good amount of time, even after the first session, she fell back to her old ways because her family were that way. And I was like, look, these people, your family, which are wonderful in intention, are doing this because that's all they know. Now we can be at peace that that is all that they know, or they don't have the resources, they don't have the capabilities right in that moment to teach you anything else. Now, are you going to listen and buy into that and get ill, get sick, be overweight, and not feel good about yourself, have it affect your low self-esteem and all those things? Or are you going to break away from that? Are you going to step up and start cooking for yourself? Are you going to be the inspirer maybe for them? Are you going to change your eating habits so they get to see an example of how it can be done? Thankfully, that lady, that girl, did do that, and she went epically great in her transformation, her confidence, her weight loss, her strength, and all these things, and her parents had a big transformation too. But for a long time, she was listening to what they thought. Because that's all she knew. She respected them. I mean, we respect our parents. We grow up and we think that they're our heroes, our idols. So it's understandable. when we see what people say as the masses, we think we should follow them because everyone else is doing it. But that doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be that way. You can choose to be one of the people who transforms everything. If you want to let go of low self-esteem, you find someone who can do that. If you want to get better at money, you find someone who is good at money. You surround yourself with that momentum of people who will give value. Like I gave an early example of mind mastery. Although I'm in mind mastery most days, people are supporting each other despite the struggles they're going through in that moment. And then I jump in on there, we go on Facebook and also the live calls where we start to, I coach them, my dad coaches them. All these things are happening. They're listening, they're surrounding themselves with people who are in the same position but willing to change, which is a big difference in people who same position are unwilling or have no idea. They are creating momentum. They're surrounding with people who know how to get there, and they're surrounding themselves with people who are in the same place but are willing to do whatever it takes. That is momentum. That is where the magic happens. Without a doubt, you have to do that. So always ask yourself, who are you listening to? Are you listening to the right people? Are you listening to the people who are not serving you? All those things. You have to be conscious. We have to quit playing small. We have to quit allowing this just to happen naturally to us. It doesn't have to be that way. We do not have to be that person. Imagine going for the rest of your life in that situation. And I'm imagining in my mind, if I always felt not good enough, if I was anxious all the time and I was worried all the time, what it would be like to keep that way. It would be a nightmare for me. What would it be like to carry on listening to the people who have no idea how to help you or to advise you on the right things? What would that be like? And I think first word or set of words come up to me are regret. A lifetime of regret. So in that, I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to go down that road. Today is the day that I'm going to do something different. I'm going to invest in myself, or I'm going to excel in myself, I'm going to knuckle down. Because here's the thing. The people who are succeeding are working on themselves. Business, health, relationships, career, the people who are succeeding are working on themselves. The people who are remaining the same are doing the same old thing they've always done. It is as simple as that. It really is. When you think of the simplicity, it is, while you may be sleeping, other people are hustling to get to where they want to be. When you may be watching TV, other people are asking questions, surrounding themselves, they're reading books, they're listening to audios, they're listening to videos, all those things. They are doing those things while we may be watching TV, or while we might be doing whatever the behavior is. You get the point. You may be just doing the same old thing. And that's okay as well. Like I said, take what you want. Who are you listening to? You don't have to listen to me at all. You're here. This is free. You can choose to switch off right now. And I'm at peace with that, because at the end of the day, I only want people who want to jump on my vision for them, which is absolute epic transformation. That is just my belief system. That is my vision. And you do not have to believe in that. You don't have to buy into that. You do not have to live that way. That is okay. So turn it off. And that's honest. I have no scarcity in my life. I have no scarcity of people saying rude things about me, or I have no scarcity about people saying that they don't like being told the certain things that I say. I'm at peace with that. There's my opinion. You don't have to take opinion. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to make the decision. Is this person authentically coming from the heart? Is he saying it from experience? Is he someone I want to agree with? If you do not, fine. I love you anyway. I want the best for you. And I understand that I may not help you. I'm okay with that. We have to be okay in being just us. To let go of that scarcity. what people might think. It goes into the same thing. Who are we listening to? We might be listening to someone because we care about what they might think if we don't. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with what people say. I'm okay if people don't like my work. I'm okay if people don't want to be my friend. I'm okay in all those things. In fact, it's more than okay because I want them to be their potential. And if it means I'm a no, so there's like an X right there. If I'm a no, it just means they're going to move on to the next one. And I really hope that they go to that next person and they get help. I want that for the person. I'm at peace with all options. As long as they get to where they want to be, as long as they're not living the same story, I'm at peace. I'm okay with that. But are you okay with that? Are you okay to listening to the same old thing? Are you okay with not waking up? Are you okay with listening to the people who do not know how to help you? Are you okay with that? If you are, great. That is absolutely okay. We can surround ourselves with those who do know. That is the beautiful thing about life. It's choice. You have a choice to wake up. You have a choice to live life on your terms. You have a choice to let go of anxiety. You have a choice to let go of low confidence. And I promise you it is a choice. It may not feel like a choice because your unconscious mind's running it, but when you make the choice, when you make the decision, your unconscious mind will serve you. It's there to serve you after all. If I cut my hand, if I cut my arm right here, guess what? I've got to do nothing. My body heals it for me. My unconscious mind is always serving. If I'm driving, I'm not even thinking about it most of the time because my unconscious mind is serving. It runs my habits, it runs my belief systems. So yes, we might not have control over that, but we have a choice over it. When we start to commit, we start to listen to the right people. Like I said, it might not be me. I'm at peace with that. But when you start to listen to the right people, when you're ready to make the right decisions based on what? This right here. You go by what resonates with you. You go by what makes you feel alive. If you want to be able to do something, you feel that right in your heart and you do whatever it takes. You learn. If you're a rubbish singer and you want to sing, you learn how to sing because it feels right here. You might not know of the tools. Here's the thing, right? When I started learning hypnosis, before that I had no idea about hypnosis. Before coaching, the words I'm speaking to you right now, before I knew anything about it, of course I didn't know anything about it. It came from application. It came from persistence. It came from education. It came from investing that time or that money. All those things. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It is what you do now. It doesn't matter about your past. It's what you do right here. That's what it is. That is what it's all about, guys. And I say that with all the love. I say that with all the compassion and enough compassion to also hopefully ignite you at the same time. All those things. That is my heart. That is what my heart says. And you just agree or you disagree. You take what works. Some of the things I say today, you might go, well, today Joseph, he was only like 80% good. Or he's only 20% good. Even 5%. Joseph today was only 5% good. Take the 5% and you run with it. Test it out. Do whatever it takes. That's okay. You just have to do what feels right with you. Who are you listening to? Are you listening to what your heart says? Or are you listening to everyone else? So I really hope you enjoy that. I'm going to wrap it up right now because we've been going on for 37 minutes right this second on Facebook. I don't quite know on Periscope, but I hope you enjoyed this session. Just always know that I believe, my opinion of you is that you are worthy, you are capable, you can achieve whatever that is. If you want to get more confidence, you can get that. If you want more love, you can get that. If you want more financial abundance, you can get that too. All those things, you can do it. And I just hope you know that. And if not, learn from someone who can help you. Take the time out, invest in yourself, in time, and probably in money, depending who it is. You'll get what you put in. You get what you put in. If you're putting X amount of money down, you want to make sure you get that back. If you're putting 20 minutes in every day, you want to make sure you get that back. You get what you put in. Financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and any other illy that we can even think about. So I really, really hope that is something of value to you. I'm just looking at these. Way more than 5% your subject. Obviously, I just went on Periscope. That was sounding really good as well. So I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you everyone on Facebook as well. Thank you Margarita. Thank you Dave. Thank you Kim. Thank you Paul. Thank you Darlene. All these amazing words. Annan on Periscope. Awesome person. Kerry. Kim. All... Yin as well. Everyone, I really do appreciate your feedback. And you know what? Because of that, I'm going to listen to you guys. I'm listening to that great feedback. I'm going to take that on. I'm going to let it to inspire me to do more because it feels good to me and it feels good to you. Then I think we're onto a winning team. And as always, as people have asked from the beginning of this, if you want to get access to speaking to me twice a month through the internet, but verbally, where you can ask me a question or you can type me a question, get coached by me, get coached by my father, Paul, who you know is awesome, and coached by other people throughout in the future to get the extensions to any podcast that I do, to get every audio program, the complete confidence mastery, the anxiety freedom, the happiness unleashed, all those things, all my hypnosis library, the allergy freedom as well, the Be Your Potential video course as well, all those things, then go ahead to www.josephclough, C-L-O-U-G-H, so that's josephclough.info. So people are saying it's paused, so I'll just say it again. josephclough.info/mind mastery. Mind mastery. josephclough.info/mind mastery. You might enroll, but I want to make sure you're the right person for me. We really figure out if the people who are just zapping energy and not in the right place. So don't worry about it. This is one of the things I only want to surround myself with people who are willing to step up. You might have issues, you might have conflicts, you might have the worst issues in the world, but if you have your energy at the right place, you're more than welcome. We're taking applicants still for Mind Mastery, so you're more than welcome. And if you enroll and we're a good fit, we'll carry on from there. If you're not a good fit for my group, because they are very, very cool people, then that might be the case. And also, if I'm not a good fit for you, then you just cancel. I don't mind about that. I'm here to support. I know I'm going to get your result either way because that's what I do. That's what I'm a specialist in. So go ahead and have the most beautiful day. I always realize how awesome and epic you are. So I'm going to say goodbye to Facebook first. Goodbye, Facebook.